What are the Patriots going to do? I'm so fascinated by this. Our friend Tom Curran kind of called out Belichick for not having a press conference since the third day of this year. That was an interesting column. I always like reading what he has to say from New England. What do you think they're going to do at the quarterback spot, Peter?
Rich, I just don't know. They've always been an organization that, Belichick often, he operates with the people in his organization on a need-to-know basis. And what that means is it doesn't matter how high in the organization you are, whether you're Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, he doesn't really know, I don't think, whether Bill Belichick one day is going to call him up and say, hey, we decided we're going to trade for John Doe. We're trading for Marcus Mariota. So there's your new quarterback. But he is, I don't want to say he's autocratic because he isn't, but he's oftentimes not going to tell anybody what he's thinking until the decision has already been made. So my gut feeling is he has a pretty good idea of his options. I think for a while, quite honestly, I think they were seriously considering Marcus Mariota. I don't know whether they still are, but, they're going to have to make a decision whether they want to take that 15th pick and maybe try to move up and get one of these guys. Because this is the first time in a long time that they've been even in half-decent position, to move around in the draft and maybe get a long-term quarterback. So we'll see. You would anticipate, you would think that with his relationship with Nick Saban that he would have some pretty good institutional knowledge about everything about Mac Jones.
Right.
So I've thought all along that might be an option for them at 15, but we'll see.
If they want to just be totally out of character, right, and hop all the way up to try and get into the Zach Wilson scenario, I'd love to hear the phone call, listening to him calling the Jets or the Dolphins for their draft choices. I can't even imagine, right?
Here's the point about that, okay? Like, when I talk to people around the league, because everybody knows that number 2 is Zach Wilson, and it's not absolute, but it's likely. Then, honestly, if you're there at 8 or 9, if you're Carolina or Denver, and everybody thinks that Carolina and Denver are very logical places for a quarterback, trading from, let's say, 8 or 9 to 1 would cost you next year's 1 and either this year's 2 or 3. So what is it going to cost the Patriots going from 15 to 2 or 15 to 3? Never mind that those are both teams in their division. And why in the world would Joe Douglas or Chris Greer want to hand Bill Belichick a quarterback for the next 12 years?
It'll never happen. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.